Hi, today I will be discussing and demoing upgrading from Centrify Server Suite 2017.1. We'll be upgrading to 2017.2 in my lab environment. One of the big things you'll notice is the product name change. Essentially, the Centrify Identity platform has all been designed to work together as an entire platform, and we've just done some rebundling. So Centrify Server Suite plus the Centrify Privilege Service is now called Centrify Infrastructure Services. So basically, CSS is now Centrify Infrastructure Services. You'll see that name whenever you install the product. It's still called Access Manager, and you'll still see the words 2017.2 and that kind of information in there. The licensing service, which was optional before, is now mandatory. I actually uninstalled that in my environment, so you'll see what happens when you install a new one on top of that. If you haven't installed a licensing service before, if you have, it'll just upgrade it. I'm going to show for those who haven't had it, you're going to have to upgrade. When doing the upgrade, actually install the licensing service now. It is mandatory. Putty is now 64-bit. It used to be 32-bit, so that means it's moved from program files x86, where you put 32-bit executables, is now into program files. So if you had any shortcuts to Putty, you're going to have to make some new ones. And also just showing how to upgrade a Linux agent via Deployment Mgr, upgrading and updating the Linux agent manually by putting the package out there and running install.sh, and then updating the Windows agent. So here's my current Centrify Server Suite. You'll see it, Server Suite 2017, version 5.41. I have a simple environment, 2 Linux machines, and a Windows machine, a Mac machine. I'm just going to upgrade the Linux and the Windows in this environment. So again, and I'll show it later, this Putty will be in a different location because x86 is for 32 bits and Putty's going to be 64-bit now. So you got to download the files. I have 2017.2 ready to go. Run the auto run, and then when you hit one of these options, you'll be given options to update everything. So I'm going to do privilege service, identity and privilege. I like to do select which component. That way I get a list here. So I didn't have licensing service on there. That's why it's not checked. So it's only going to upgrade what I already have. However, if you don't have licensing service on here, you're going to have to put it somewhere. It is now required. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that to install it. So you'll see products to be upgraded. List all this stuff. All the GUIs. Again, there is no Centrify server. All I'm doing is updating the GUI and all the utilities we have and things like that. And then the license service. Again, that is the service that was optional before, but now it's mandatory. Everything's still same with licensing. It's still stored in Active Directory under a particular OU, but now we have a service that all the different components can talk through. All right. And we can just pause this. So when it completes, you'll see information here. If you have ZPA running, you can go ahead and do that. Basically, you just got to retype in the password for the service. I don't actually have it running. I just have it installed right now. Not a big deal. You can do that later. So that was it. Everything was done. Exit out. If I go into the Access Manager now, notice that's still called Access Manager. Because this is an MMC snap-in, you might see some changes here. Then I go to log in. Your zones are still there. Remember, there's nothing stored inside, quote, a Centrify server. This is just a GUI storing everything inside of AD. So your zones are still there. Because we didn't update, the MMC console here might have lost some of its basically cache. So we can just say open zone and then find your zones. I have everything under a global, and then the data is still there. Nothing's changed. Again, that was all stored in Active Directory. But now if you go into here, you'll notice it says Centrify Infrastructure Services. And we're on 5.4.2. We're still calling it Access Manager. And again, the Putty shortcut is gone. Where we used to be under Program Files x86, now the Putty is under the regular one here. So you might need to reset your Putty shortcut so it comes back up. So what I did was, if you already had the licensing service installed, it would have upgraded it, no big deal. If not, if it's brand new, if you did what I just did, I just installed it. So we can go into the licensing service control panel. And hopefully it should just work. You'll notice it's a service that's running. You have a couple different tabs up top. You can go into DC, DZ, still stands for direct control, direct authorize. It should still be using the same container. It should find all the information and should be flawless. You just see the new name changes down here. And then basically from the Access Manager, you'll notice there's no way of inputting evaluation keys and permanent keys. If you want to add keys, you do it inside this service control panel now. This is where you add in your keys. Again, we're making a different modular approach here, a whole service panel. So it's a modular services running so different components can call the services. So that's really it. I'm done. I've upgraded the GUIs. Again, there's no Centrify server on the back end. I just have the license and service, and I got a bunch of GUIs. I updated all the GUIs. I updated my Putty. Now what we can do is we can update our agents. Obviously in a production environment, you might be using something like BigFix and satellite servers and things like that. I'll just do some things manually here just for demo purposes. So I'm going to go into Deployment Manager, and we're going to install or upgrade some of my Linux machines. I actually let me boot up those virtual machines. So let me pause here. So I got my Unix computers spun up. So in my environment, I got 2 Unix computers here, NSEN 6 and New CentOS. What I'm going to do is use Deployment Manager to upgrade one of them, and then I'll use manual process to do the other. So what we need to do is import the new software into here. So you'll notice in Deployment Manager it has Centrify Server Suite 2017.1. I need to do 17.2. I already have downloaded the software, and one thing you'll notice is when you go to the website, the product catalog used to be within the agent's zip file, and now it's a separate download. So if you're going to get the product catalog, that's so the Deployment Manager knows all the latest versions. That used to be within the agent zip file. Now it's separate download. Just got to download it separate and know where it's at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say download from Centrify. That's the option, but I'm going to click and change it to from a local drive. And I'm going to go to I have my agents. Now it says we need the catalog. I'm going to say from file. Oh, that's not what we want. Where do I have it? There it is. Give us a few seconds. Got to import the product catalog, and that way it knows what the latest software is, so it can import all those latest software packages. I'll pause. So imported the catalog, found all the updated packages. I could have just done the package I need, but I just want to import Red Hat or something like that. I usually just import all of them. Again, give it a few seconds. So now I have .2. So what I can do is I can go back up to my computers, click on the machine I want to update. And then I can just say manage software. By the way, let me just show you something real quick. It shows over here what the versions are. Let me just pull this over. So we can see that I have 541 and 541 for OpenSSH and direct control. So now I can right click, manage software. I don't have any direct audit packages on these machines. I'm going to update them to Infrastructure Services 2017.2, both the agent and OpenSSH, and finish. Now one thing you'll notice is you get the little hourglass over here. When you click on that thing, this little node, you'll see what it's doing. This is going to take a second. Oh, one thing I could have done, I guess, quickly. So that was the agent, the original agent, 541. After the upgrade, hopefully it should be a new version. So this is going to take a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and pause. So what you notice at the bottom, it would have said updating the information from it, but then it finishes. So my hourglass is gone. I can go down to NSEN 6, go to history, and hopefully I have success. There you go. So success worked fine, and now it installed the software. So if I go back to all computers, you'll notice that my old computer is still 541, but the new one's at 542. So there you go. Everything should be the same. No problems running. So really easy if you're going to use a deployment manager. If you're using your own satellite server, package manager, that kind of thing, it's all standard packages that can be updated. And then I can show you how to install this manually. So I'm on the new CentOS machine. And this one's, again, got the old package on there. I downloaded the Centrify Suite 2017.2. It's zipped, tarred. So I need to run this as root. It's going to do an AD check real quick, just as a precaution. In my lab here, my second DNS server isn't up. That's okay. It'll just give me a warning. So it found the old packages, and basically I want to update them all. I'm going to update the standard packages. I don't have the enterprise packages. There's the main agent. We've broken up some of the components under the agent out of it. And then we have some additional packages. I did the OpenSSH. So I'm going to do the S option here. I do not need to do that. I do not need to reboot. Sure. Back up the current configuration. Why not? So then it gives you an overview of what it's doing. I'm updating all these packages. I'm not installing the LDAP. These other packages that are part of this agent, I didn't install them in the first place. There's no reason to install them. So, all good. Again, this will take a few seconds. I'll pause the video. So we've it finished. All good. Now it's upgraded to 542. Everything should be good and connected, and all my users. I only had one user I think on here. All good to go. So that's it. Everything's updated. Now let me do a Windows machine. Show you what it looks like on there. You got me a second. So here's my Windows 7 machine. If I go into the configuration panel for Direct Authorize, you see this is still the 2017.1 version from Centrify Server Suite name. I'm under the Windows zone. So all good to go here. So let me update it. Again, if you had a package management program, this would be done automatically. Just showing you what it looks like manually. So here I have .2. I can just do the Windows agent. An older version found. Do you want to continue to upgrade? Yes. Step through, accept, continue, reboot automatically. Remember, we're controlling so who can log in and who can't, so this is one of those things you got to reboot and you're done. I'll pause it, take a few seconds. You might get a thing like that, hit yes. You get a bunch of these things cannot be installed while something's running. All done. Now I got to reboot. reboot finished. I should be able to log in. We are controlling that login process, who can and who can't, so you know we're working, the agent's working fine. I go back up to that same control panel. Now it says infrastructure services down here. All good, all connected. So that's it. One thing we could also do here, just to show you, I have some group policies. With releases, sometimes we have some new group policy templates. I have a real basic one up top here. Doesn't really make sense to maybe make it up top, but I did it so I could add all the policies so we can see the dates. So if we look at here, this was all the policies that were loaded from the last time, from 2017.1. I right-click on Centrify settings, say Add Remove Templates. You can look at the dates. So the latest date is May of 2017. May 2017. Nothing past that, because that was when 2017.1 came out. What I can do is right-click on here, say Add Remove Templates. Click Add, and it should find the location for you. But notice where it's at. See program files. This is where we put all the common files. Everything goes into here. Shared. You can see where we're at. So I could just highlight them all, but actually you'll notice the only ones that updated are these right here. These ones before that, the last date was in May, and these are all 2016 early, but here's the August 2017. Already exists, you want to overwrite. Yep, so now you notice I got the new ones, the due dates. And all your group policies will continue to work. Now you got the latest group policies. That's it, that's all I wanted to show you. Thank you very much.